Thank you everybody for coming. Like I said, my name's James Pastor. I'm the program director here at Clay Art Center. And just wanted to again say thank you for coming and welcome. Here you're looking at our mission. So if you're new to Clay Art Center, a lot of you have heard this before, but for those of you who are new, thanks for coming. And if you are new to Clay Art Center, we are a nonprofit ceramic studio, among many other things, located in Portchester, New York, north of Manhattan in Westchester suburbs of New York City. We have a pretty dynamic space here in Portchester. We have our artist studios, private artist studios, where our local ceramic community works out of. We also have a very robust education programming for youth and adult, all levels, all ages. And we also have, of course, a really robust residency program. And we're lucky enough to be here with Austin, who is our soon-to-be second-year resident, and he might talk a little bit about the residency program if we have time, but Austin is finishing up his first year with us and is going to be our second-year artist in resident. So very excited to have him back. Clay Art Center, our mission essentially to spread ceramic education to as many people as we can. So we're very happy you're here. A big part of our mission is to offer free programming and accessibility, really, I should say. And a part of our virtual artist lectures is having it free and accessible to the public. So thank you again for coming. Thank you for donating if you were able to. And we're very excited to be here. Should also mention that we have a very beautiful resource room, gallery, and shop where we sell all kinds of ceramic work, and Austin has some pots and sculptures in our shop as well. So maybe after the webinar you can check that out on our website. So before we get started, like I said, we're here with Austin. Austin is from Lincoln, Nebraska. He has his BFA from the University of Lincoln, Nebraska, University of Lincoln, Nebraska, excuse me, in 2019, I believe, Austin? Yep. Great. And told everybody about his second-year residency with us coming up. And Austin is going to tell us all about Instagram, which I could surely use the lesson myself. So I'm very excited. So thank you so much, Austin, for being here. Hand it over to you, buddy.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to talk to all you guys. So, all right. Yeah. Well, like James said, sorry, let me get this up here. I'm super excited to be talking to all of you guys right now. I'm gonna pull up a PowerPoint real quick. Let's see here. Sorry about this. All right. So, like James said, my name is Austin. Yes, I am from Lincoln, Nebraska. So if you guys are wondering where that is, it's in the middle of the US. But a little bit about me, born and raised here, Lincoln, Nebraska. Yes, I'm currently in Nebraska due to the whole coronavirus. But I'm excited to be talking to all you guys today via Zoom. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys about Instagram. So I know Instagram can be a very confusing tool. It's a super exciting platform, and it's a really great way of staying connected, and it's a great way of sharing your work. But I know for a lot of people it can be kind of confusing, so I'm gonna go through the basics today, kind of start at the very beginning for people completely new to Instagram, and end at a little bit more of an intermediate or advanced type of lesson. So without further ado, why Instagram? I'm gonna move this little guy out of the way. All right, so Instagram is a social media platform that allows you to share your work with the world. Instagram and Facebook are connected, so you can easily share the same post on both platforms for increased exposure. Instagram is in right now. Almost all artists, organizations, institutions, and businesses have accounts. I know not every single one of those have accounts, but there is a lot of accounts out there. I looked up some facts recently, and you get an amazing potential exposure. So as of January 2020, there are over 1 billion active Instagram users, 500 million which are active each day around the world, which totals to 63% of Americans who use Instagram daily. So that is a really large group of our population of humans who are on Instagram, and just in America alone, 63%, which is a crazy number. So there's a lot of people using Instagram. I want to start with just kind of the basics of setting up Instagram. For people who don't have Instagram, you don't have to have Instagram right now to be watching this. You don't have to be setting up an Instagram right now. But if you do want to set one up and you don't have Instagram, you're welcome to just drop down some notes. But it's pretty simple. The easiest way is just to go to Instagram.com. You can sign in with Facebook or enter new information. Like I said, Facebook and Instagram are connected. So if you have Facebook already, it's pretty easy to set up. In Instagram, you can log in with Facebook, and all you have to do is pretty much choose a username. So your username will be your Instagram handle, and what that means is whatever you put right here for your username is what your name is going to be on your actual Instagram account. So for clarity purposes, I would try to make your username pretty close to your name or business that you want. As an artist, I want my username to be somewhat similar to my name, just so when people look at my account, they're not confused on why my name is something completely different. So just I have a couple examples down here. These obviously first and last name, but you could do something similar to your actual name. If you're a ceramics or art account, maybe you have the word art or clay or ceramics or pottery in there somewhere. There's a couple Instagram handles I've seen out there that have it might say like Austin, like 62953HQ. And if you see something like that, it's definitely a unique name, but it might be kind of hard to remember or look up. So if you're making a new Instagram, I would definitely pick a username that is pretty easy to remember. All right, so your profile. So this is a little screenshot of my profile. Throughout this talk here, I'll have some screenshots off my phone of Instagram, so you guys can kind of follow along. So it's not just going to be all words. I know there's a lot of words right now, but lots of images to come. So like I said, username right here. Mine's Coudriet. This is just part of my last name, first letter of my first name. It's a little bit of an older. I've had this for a while, so it's a little bit of an older name. If I was to start a new one today, I would probably do something more like Austin Coudriet Ceramics, something a little bit more defying. So like I said, Instagram handle, username right there at the top. Profile picture right over here. This is the picture that everyone's going to see when your profile comes up. Same with Facebook, same with almost any social media. It's always going to have a profile picture. So it's good to have one. Doesn't have to be you. If you want to be a picture of your work or your pots, that's totally fine as well. Let's see here. Name. So I put my name as Austin Coudriet Ceramics. I want to make sure that my actual name is on my account somewhere. Like I said, up here just says my username. So I want to make sure my name is somehow linked to my account. So I put that right there. Bio. So this is a short little bio of me. Talk about what kind of work I make. Talk about where I live. A couple groups I'm in. This is my where I graduated with my BFA. So got a couple little blurbs about me in there. And then the link. So you have an option to add a link at the very bottom. I chose to put in my website. If you have a website, that would be a super great place to put it. If you don't have a website, but if maybe your work is in a gallery, you could put a link to that work. If you don't have a website or any of those things, that's okay. You don't have to put anything in there. A lot of people also put links to organizations or groups that they're a part of, or sometimes there's drives for donations, etc. So people will have links in their profile that might send them to a place that they want to see. All right, so navigating Instagram, I want to talk about a few key topics here. So the basics: how to like a post, how to comment on a post, your notifications, and how to actually post. So a couple different ways to post. All right, so how to like a post. Liking a post on Instagram is super easy. There's two ways. First way click on the little, click on the little heart at the bottom left. Second way, you can just double tap an image. All right, so double tapping any image, the heart down here at the bottom will turn red, and that means you've liked the image. How to comment on a post. As you can see, this arrow over here is pointing down to the speech bubble. If you click on that speech bubble, you'll have this screen that pops up. You can type whatever you'd like, as long as your profile picture will be here as well. When you send up a comment, you'll have your picture and then your comment next to it. Notifications. So notifications are down here, right here. That little heart is gonna, whenever anybody comments on your photo, tags you in something, anything like that, it's gonna show up in that column. So if you click on that heart, you'll get this page here. So I can see, this is an older thing, but I can see, you know, so-and-so liked my photo, and you can see how long ago they liked it. Right, so this person commented on my photo 55 minutes ago, so that looks a little bit different. And then I can go in and like his comment and reply as well. All right, so how to post a photo. A lot of people already know how to like a photo, how to comment on a photo, but posting a photo can get a little bit tricky. So I go pretty in depth here. You don't have to do all the little tricks I'm about to show, but there's definitely a lot behind posting a photo to make it, well, in one sense, it makes it a little bit complicated, but there's also an easier way just to click on a photo, add a quick caption, and post it similar to a Facebook post. So down here on this middle icon is what you click to post a photo, right? So a little plus sign there. You can either select a photo from your recents. So these are gonna be all photos in your iPhone, or sorry, in your phone. So you can post any photo you've already taken, or you can choose to take a brand new photo or video and post it on the spot. So there's a couple different types of post. There's 3 categories up here. This first one is called a boomerang. It's a little bit confusing. If people have questions about that, I would love to answer those a little bit later on. This is called a carousel post, which we're going to talk about now. And this is just a layout post, so you could post multiple pictures in one image. So we'll talk about carousel posts right now. Carousel posts just allows you to post multiple pictures per post. So for example, if I want to post all 3 of these photos, you know, per se, I wouldn't really want to post those because they're all the same one. But just as an example, if I want to post 3 photos, I just press this little icon up here, and then I'm able to click on multiple images or videos and post all of those. So you can do up to 10 per post. And that's called carousel post. So this is just a little screenshot of a carousel post. So you can see this is one post I made, image 1 out of 2, image 2 out of 2. So you can see at the bottom, sorry, every time I put the clicker down there, it pops up. But at the bottom there, you can see the little blue dot, and there's a blue dot and a gray dot. So as you swipe over, that's kind of how many images are on there. You can also see up here, like I said, 1 out of 2, 2 out of 2. All right, hashtags. So I know a lot of you guys might have heard of hashtags. I'm not sure how much people really know what a hashtag is. So a hashtag is this symbol right here. And the reason why hashtags are cool, or hashtags are a great way for your posts to get more exposure. So if you're listening to this talk and you kind of already know how to like post and share post and comment and all of those things as well, and you're really looking for a way to get more exposure, hashtags is a really good way to do that. So for example, I just looked up the hashtag pottery, which is what these 2 images are here. So you can see hashtag pottery up above, that's what I searched. And if I put hashtag pottery in the caption or in the comments after I posted a picture, anyone who then looks up or clicks on that hashtag now has the potential to see your post. So anything with a hashtag in front of it, you can see some here. There's no spaces, there's just a hashtag in the word. So anyone who types in hashtag pottery on their post now comes up when I click on that. So whenever I add a hashtag, basically it makes that word clickable. So I can now click on those words, which brings me here. And there's 2 categories. There's top, which is kind of like photos people posted that have a lot of likes. There are photos that are trending right now, and there's recent. So if we actually were able to click in on these photos, we'd see most of these photos are posted within the last minute or two. 8.1 million posts have used this hashtag pottery, which means each one of the posts we're seeing in these screenshots here have that hashtag in their comments. So I could go here, click on hashtag pottery, and I could scroll through and see all of these great pots and all of these amazing posts over here. So if you put hashtag pottery in your post, your picture would actually pop up on this recent side. And if it starts getting a lot of likes, a lot of attention, it might even come up in this top side over here. But basically, more people will be able to see your work the more hashtags you add. I can also come up here and click the follow button and follow along this hashtag. So anytime anyone uses hashtag pottery, it'll come up on my feed. All right, so I know this page has a lot of words on it, but I will explain. I promise it's not as complicated as it looks. So after I select an image, I hit the next button and it brings me to this page, right? So this page has a lot of different options to pick. We're really just gonna focus on this very top section here. So I called this piece Window Scene Number 2, right? Pretty basic name. And then below, I've added some hashtags, right? So hashtag pottery, hashtag ceramics, hashtag clay art center. So hashtags typically go underneath the caption, right? So here's my caption, here's my hashtags. Oftentimes people choose to space them out by using either dots, dashes, or asterisks. So this is an example of what that means, dots, dashes, asterisks. And I just use 2 right here to show as an example. But if you hit return period, it kind of just spaces out these hashtags away from your caption, giving your post a little bit of space and room to breathe. If I didn't include these 2 dots right here, my hashtag would be right up underneath my my caption here, and it might look a little bit crowded and kind of difficult to read. So I like to space those out a little bit from my actual caption there. Hashtags must be all one word. There can be no spaces, otherwise the second part won't be considered part of the hashtag. You can use the following symbols, right? So these symbols right here are allowed to be inside of a hashtag, and numbers. If I can't just type in any symbol. Like if I type in the money sign, that's not considered a valid word. But these, a dot, a dash, and an underscore, all work in a hashtag. Once you start typing a hashtag, suggestions will begin to pop up below. You can see that, and you can see how many people have that hashtag. All right, so for example, right now I just started typing hashtag clay, and I can see these are some options it's giving me. Maybe I want to do hashtag clay, maybe I meant to do hashtag clay art. If I put hashtag clay art, I can see 898,000 people have used that post. So that would be a really great hashtag to use, because potentially anyone who goes and looks at clay art, which you can see a lot of people use it, so a lot of people look at it, now have the potential to see this post that I'm posting. Oops. Which is super great. You can also see if you have any followers who follow that post. So this is someone who follows me on Instagram. I can see that he has chosen to follow this tag. So whether or not he's actually following me or this tag, he's going to see my work, which is pretty awesome. And there's also 2 other people who follow this clay hashtag. All right, so I know there might be some questions about hashtags. We'll have a break here pretty soon, and you're welcome to ask me all of those. I know it's a little bit confusing, but again, the main points here is when you add hashtags, it's just another way for people to see your work. So I try to add hashtags relevant to what I'm posting about. I wouldn't put hashtag candle, hashtag tree, because that doesn't have anything to do with my actual post. But anything clay related, pottery, glaze, kilns, anything like that, people will click on it and potentially come back to see my work. Therefore, making my work more readily available on Instagram, so hopefully more users would see it. All right, so the next step, once we have our caption, we have some hashtags. You can see, again, sometimes people put their names in hashtags. That way, if anybody clicks on this, maybe it would take them to all of my work. I don't actually use this hashtag, but you're welcome to make your own, your own name hashtag, and that a lot of artists use that. All right, so tagging a post. So this section right here is how you tag people. So to tag a post, you click on the tag people section, then you can click anywhere on the photo. So I can click anywhere on this photo and a search bar will appear. Next, type in the username of the account you want to tag. If you can tag multiple accounts if you desire. All right, so all I do is I clicked on this photo, I typed in my name to tag myself in this photo. Now, you don't have to tag yourself in your own photos. I'm just using this purely as an example. But I could also click anywhere on the screen. Maybe I click right here. A search bar would come up, and I could type in Clay Art Center, and the Clay Art Center's tag would be right there. The cool thing about tags is, let's say somebody else posted this. So the Clay Art Center posted a picture talking about this talk and talking about my work earlier today. And they put my tag right on my image like this. If somebody comes in and clicks on this tag right here, it'll take them directly to that person's profile. So the cool thing about that is if somebody else posts my work and tags me in it, anyone who sees that post can click on my name and it'll take them right to my profile. So if you're ever posting about other people's work, maybe you bought a mug from someone you like online or one of your friends and you wanted to share a picture of it. It's really cool if you tag them in a post, because then they're able to actually see that and share that, and anyone else who sees that on your story is now directed to their account, which is super cool. So we talked about carousel posts a little bit ago down here, which again is just multiple images. It's like posting 10 images at once. And a carousel post, so like I said, multiple images. You can tag each photo if you want. You can also tag videos. So you can tag anything you post, you're able to tag. All right, so again, tag people right here. You can see I have one tag, it's my own name. It's right there. The next little section, we have this, we tagged me, is add location. So you can choose to add a location to any of your to any of your posts. And when you post an image, that'll come right on top. It'll be right above your image. It'll say where that picture is taken from. So to add a location, you click on the section, add location. Pretty simple right here. Then you can type in your location, for example, the Clay Art Center. So I made this at the Clay Art Center. I want to say it was made there. I'm just going to type in Clay Art Center. A couple different places come up, right? So you can look underneath. This is not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one in Port Chester, New York. So I'll just click on this one right here, and that will be my new location of this post. So anyone can click on this location and see, once it's posted, anyone can click on this location and see other posts that share that same location. So now that I've selected Clay Art Center, anyone who clicks on Clay Art Center from my photo, you can actually see all the posts that have been posted in Clay Art Center. So it's kind of like a collective folder. Again, tagging people, adding locations, adding hashtags, they're not necessary things for you to do. All you really need to do is select the photo, write a caption, hit share. But if you want to get a little bit more exposure, it's great to add a location. It's great to add some hashtags. And if you have other people's work, it's really nice and respectful to tag them in it as well. All right, so we're going to talk about how to post a video, and then I believe we'll take a break for questions after this. So a video is pretty similar to posting a photo. There's a couple differences. So again, you can either take a video on the spot, or take a video through your app, or select a video you already have in your camera roll. I oftentimes like to select a video I already have in my camera roll. Just makes it a little bit easier for me, but both ways are totally fine. So there's a couple different features. First is sound on and off. So it's kind of hidden up here. There's no words, it just has this little speaker. If you tap on it, it'll turn the sound off. I forgot about this feature a few times when I first started using Instagram, and I had a video of me working on some clay, and if I leave the sound on, sometimes you have people in the background who might be talking about something and you didn't realize it, and all of a sudden you have all these voices in your videos, which might not bother you, but depending on what they're saying, you might not want to post it on your Instagram. So this is a great way just to turn sound on or off. I like to normally turn my sound off, but if it's just me in the studio and just a sound of like a wheel turning or me carving, doesn't bother me. So that's what that is, on and off right there. There's also a couple features down here at the bottom here. And so those are filter, trim, and cover. So we talked about sound. Real quick, talking about filter. We're on the filter setting here. You can see this is normal. A couple different types of filters here. There's a black and white one over here. I would strongly recommend not using a filter. A filter puts a tint or a color or a change in your whole entire video, which seems cool, and it definitely can be a fun thing to play around with. But oftentimes it kind of distracts a little bit from the quality of your video. You might find a great filter and you might post it. And I don't have anything against filters, but for my personal page, I tend not to use the filters because most of these ones that are set on Instagram, to be honest, they aren't super great. But that's just my opinion. So if you want to use a filter, you're absolutely welcome to. But I think it typically doesn't look super professional. All right, so 2 more features here with the video section. So we got a trim, which is right here. So you can trim down your video. That just means you can cut it to however long or short you'd like. The only stipulation there is it has to be at least 3 seconds to post on Instagram. A typical post is somewhere between 3 and 30 seconds long. Anything over, 3 and 60 seconds long. Anything over 60 seconds long can still be posted, but it will be considered an IGTV post. So an IGTV post stands for Instagram television post. Anytime you see IG, typically that means Instagram. I guess it could also mean I guess, but as far as this Instagram surface goes, Instagram oftentimes shortens it by saying IG. All right, so Instagram TV posts are very similar to just a normal video post, but they have a 10-minute limit. And if you guys have questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them later. It's a little bit confusing. It's kind of a new feature they've added. Basically, all you need to know is you are able to post a video for longer than 60 seconds. It will just format it differently, and it'll look a little bit different on your profile. There'll be a little white TV sign up in the corner, and it'll be considered Instagram TV. After you've watched the video for a minute, a little bar will come up at the bottom and say, would you like to watch the rest of this video? Like I said, I'm not exactly sure why they did it that way, but anything over a minute, you can still post up to 10 minutes. It'll just look a little bit different on your profile. All right, over here, this is actually one of my favorite features about posting a video, and it is called a cover. So you can see this is the full length of my video down here at the bottom, and this is a little selector, this little white rectangle here. So that I can slide that selector frame to select what frame of the video I'd like to be shown on my profile. For example, this is actually, so you can see right here where the white bar is, this is close to the beginning of my video. So I could start my video like this. I think this is a more interesting shot of my video. So I chose to drag the slider down here to select this frame. Now, when you go to my profile, you will see this frame, and then the video will start. So sometimes it can be a little bit of a sneak peek or a preview as well. Maybe if you're doing like a time lapse or you're doing a video and you like the end product, you can start by having your selector frame on the very end product. And then as the video starts, it'll start from the beginning. But this will just be what it looks like on your profile. So I thought this looked a little bit nicer on my profile than this one. Oh, great. Yeah, Splice is an app that I use. It's a video editing app. I know it's for iPhone. I'm not exactly sure if it works for Android as well. But it's a super great app. It allows you to do a lot of things. Like I said, I don't like the filters people put on videos, but you can actually edit the settings on videos through Splice. So I could expose the video more. I could basically make it a little bit brighter, a little bit darker. It does do it to the whole video, but it does it in a way that you can control very carefully. You could also link multiple videos together. You can slow down or speed up videos. It's a completely free app. It has a couple different funky settings, as does any app. So it's a little bit difficult to use right at the beginning, but once you use it a little bit, it's super user-friendly, I think, and I'd be happy to, if that's something later on people want to see a video on, or if people have questions, I'd be happy to, at a separate time, sometime take, if you guys have questions, you could always email me later on about that app. But yeah, so these are the couple of functions that are actually in Instagram. Again, trimming it, cover photo. Okay, perfect. So how to post your story. Posting to your feed and posting to your feed, which is your profile, and posting to your story are two different things, all right? So the big difference is a story post is a temporary post. It's an update, if you will. A story post usually contains content that a user wants to share but doesn't want to make a full post about. Oftentimes, my own stories have in progress photos, images of my pottery in use, inspirational photos of artwork, inspirational photos of artwork that I admire, or questions for my followers. Story posts last 24 hours and disappear. So again, story posts, temporary, they last 24 hours, they disappear. A feed post or a main profile post is a picture or video you post in your profile that is permanent. This post will remain on your feed unless you delete it. It's very similar to a Facebook post. All right, so feed posts, permanent, like we just talked about a second ago. Story posts, which we're about to talk to about, is only 24 hours, then disappears. Real quick, I want to mention live stories. If you guys have ever heard of a live story or seen a live story on Instagram and gotten confused, a live story is a story that are live on Instagram. So if your followers click on your story, they can watch along live. Live stories can be up to 1 hour long, but sadly, they cannot be saved. Types of live stories on art accounts often, that type of live stories that art accounts often post are interviews, demonstrations, or discussions. All right, so to actually watch a story, all you do is click on someone's profile photo. So if somebody has a story posted, you'll be able to see that, and you can click on their profile photo and you can watch their story. So here's how you post a story. So this is just the home page of Instagram. This is not one of my pots. It's a beautiful pot, but it's not my own. All you have to do is go to your home page, go up there with those arrows pointed to that little camera on the top left. All right, so see that camera icon up there. Once I click on that, it's going to direct me to this page over here. I can either go down here, click this, where this arrow is pointing down here, and that would be photos that are already on my camera roll, or I can come right here and click this big white button and take a picture just like I'm taking a normal picture. All right, so I could come here, aim my camera at a pot, snap a picture of it, and then post it on my story, or I'd come down here and click on a photo that I've already taken. All right, so there's a couple weird options, a couple funky things up here. I'm just going to briefly talk about them. Again, you don't need to really know about a lot of these things, but just to clear up a little confusion on what they are. So I could just take a picture. This is the black photo, but let's say I wanted to post it. I would just hit the send to button down here, and I can post it right to my story. You don't have to do it. I don't have to mess with any of these things. But if I wanted to add some filters or a question or anything extra, I would use some of these buttons. All right. So the X up here just exits out of the story. This deletes your photo, exits out. Download icon right here, downloads or saves your post. So that would be if I want to save, took a picture and I wanted to save it, download right there and save it. The round face, this is very similar if you guys are familiar with Snapchat. This would be like a face filter. It adds a filter if you wanted to, take a picture of your face and make a funny filter. You could do that, post it on your story. The page icon, which is the square smiley face, brings us down here into all of this kind of craziness, all these different things we can add, which we'll talk about a few of them. Not super important, but we'll briefly mention a couple of those things. The squiggle icon right there, little snake looking guy, is a drawing feature. So you can actually draw some over top of your photo. Maybe you have a big photo of something and you want to circle something that you want to talk about in particular. So you can use a drawing tool to circle it. And then the 2 A's right here is a typing feature. So you can press that and you can add words or words, or you can say something right there in your story. You can also just tap the screen and you'll be able to type as well. Okay. So again, don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of things going on here. If you're confused where all these just came from, again, that's just this square up here, right? So the square smiley face guy brings us into all these great options. There's a lot of things going on up here. In the same way of a post, I could add a location, right? So I could say Clay Art Center. I could mention somebody, so I could tag myself, I could tag James. I could put a hashtag. So those things are kind of similar to what we just did. You could add a GIF or GIF, depending on how you want to say it. You can add music, you can add time. All pretty basic kind of things right there as well. This is a poll, something I enjoy using a lot. So a poll is right down here. A poll, I can type in a question right here, and I can ask my followers to choose between an option. So let's say I could say, do you guys want me to do an Instagram webinar? And I could say yes or no, and then people would vote, and they could say either yes they do, no they don't. Something to be aware of is this is not anonymous. So let's say I post this question and James says no, I could go back and I could look at James's comment no, and I could text him and say, why did you say that? No, I'm kidding, I know I wouldn't say that, but that's what this option does. Over here is a quiz. So quiz is down here in the middle. I know that thing just popped up, but it's down here. And I have 4 answers right here. I can type in whatever I'd like for the answer. So I ask a question. I could say, what's my favorite color? I could list 4 colors, and I could choose this one to be the correct answer. So let's say I like green. So let's say I put green here. And then I can ask this question to my followers. They can choose an option. And if they choose this one, it'll tell them it's correct. If they choose any other ones, it'll say it's incorrect. But just a way to interact with your audience. The last thing I'll talk about in this kind of big grouping of things here is a question. So I really like using these questions. I think a lot of art accounts especially use this question. I know I'm talking a lot about art accounts right now, which is primarily what this talk is about. If you're watching this talk and you're not an artist or you don't want an art account, same things apply, but a little bit different. So let's say this is my account and I want to ask a question, and I could say, I could say, does anybody have a good let's say, does anybody have a good clear glaze I could use? Anybody have any good clear glaze recipes? And then someone could see this and say, oh yeah, I have one, and type in, I have one, here's my recipe. So this is a super cool feature. You can ask any question and people can type in any kind of answer. So again, the question, that's right here, questions. If you make one of these and you actually don't want to keep it, you didn't mean to click on that button, you just press and hold it, a little trash can icon will come up right there, and you can just click and drag it right there in the trash. All right, last thing, I know this again is kind of a little bit hectic, the drawing feature. So it's just a little squiggly line we talked about. It's right up there. Oh, not there anymore, sorry, it was up there. A couple different things along the top here. First, we got the pen, looks like a Sharpie. This is the red mark here is the pen. Second, we have this arrow. For an arrow, if you draw a line, it'll add a little arrowhead on the top of it. Kind of a fun tool. Highlighter. So this blue inside the cloud shapes here is the highlighter. This one was like a magic wand. That's a glowing line. So you can see this white line here is a glowing line. And then we have a little eraser over here that'll erase anything. Color can be chosen along the bottom here. So these are all of our color options. You can actually swipe. There's 3 sets of options, so you can swipe through different colors. This scale right here lets you see how big or skinny the line is. So for example, this blue line right here is a little bit bigger. This white line is the small. So you can actually get pretty big, and it's the same size as how wide this is right here. So if you took a picture of something and you wanted to draw over top of it, or you wanted to add some kind of, maybe some decoration or something to a photo just for fun, this is an example of how you could use some lines. All right, how to share a post to your friends and stories. So this is something that's pretty cool you can do with Instagram. The question was asked, why would you tag, or how could tagging somebody be useful to you, or how could being tagged in the photo be useful to you? Let's say I post this photo right here and I tag James in it. Or let's say James posts this photo and he tags me in it because this is a piece of my own. I could see this post, go down and click on this little paper airplane down here. It'll bring up this page. I can see right here, add post to story, to post it right then and there to my story. Or maybe I want to send it to my friend Samuel. So I could send it to my friend Samuel, send it to my brother, send it to my friend Sam, my friend PJ. You could send it to whoever you'd like. So let's say I find this post and I'm like, this is interesting. I want my brother to see it. Boom, I can go over here, click this little button and send it right to him. So if I decide to share it to my story, let's say press paper airplane, put it right over here to post to my story. This option, all I have to do is press, so it's a preview. This is what it'll look like on my story. I just hit share. And just like that, it's posted. If I decide I still want to send it to a friend, I can also send it to a friend in this section too. Right? And again, just press this little button down here, the arrow is pointing to actually share it to your story. So small preview, big preview, you can send it. We see the options up here again. So I could draw on the options. I could add any of those questions or polls. I could save the image. I could type on the image. So those are those options we talked about earlier. All right, kind of one of the last sections we'll talk about is Instagram etiquette. So these are the do's and don't for an art Instagram, right? They're a little different if you're just doing a normal Instagram. For an art Instagram, these are some things that I've learned over the last couple of years that you should maybe do or maybe not do. So post often. It is good to post multiple times a week to keep your profile current and your work in your followers' feeds. So the more you post, the more people will see your work because the more your work is out there. Don't post too much in one day. It's okay to post multiple times in a day, but if you often post 2 or 3 times a day, your followers might get a little overwhelmed and unfollow you. All right, if I'm posting 5 pictures of 5 different mugs every day, you're gonna see a lot of my work, which is great. A lot of my work is out there, but it's probably gonna be pretty annoying, and I know that I wouldn't wanna see my same mug 5 times every day. So maybe don't post too much, but it's definitely good to post often. I tend to try to post once every day. I know it's kind of excessive. Luckily, I have access to kind of a studio still, so I'm able to make work and have new posts. You don't have to post every day. It's not like a rule or a law, but the more you post, the more often people will be able to see your work. Do post stories often. I recommend posting a story almost every day, something relevant and interesting. Interact with your followers. Ask them questions. The more that your followers interact with your account, the more they see your work. It's the Instagram algorithm. If you only post once a month, not very many people will see your posts, sadly. All right, so Instagram has this new algorithm, which basically means it's really kind of funky and it's hard to understand, but the more you post, the more people see your work. The less you post, Instagram thinks you're kind of it thinks your photos are less important to see, so it doesn't actually show them as much to your followers. So it's very possible that a large amount of the followers that follow me might not even see my post when I post them. All right, so that's a little bit confusing. The algorithm's kind of funky. I honestly don't exactly like how they changed it, but if you post more often and post on your stories, it really seems like that engages well with followers and your posts continue to get seen. All right, second part here. Do you comment regularly on photos you like? When you comment about a piece in your post you like, when you comment about a piece in a post you like, other users see your name and comment, then they go to your profile and see who you are, therefore seeing your work, right? So if I see a really cool picture, James posts one of his beautiful mugs and I say, whoa, James, this is awesome. You know, maybe Emily might be on there and might see, oh, Austin said this was awesome. I wonder who Austin is. Clicks on my name, sees my work. You know, again, another way for people to see your work just by getting my name out there by commenting on other people. So Sally had a question. How do you get people to see your posts and how do you get an account started if you don't have any posts yet or you have very few? Commenting on other people's work is a good way, especially if they don't follow you yet. Maybe you comment, maybe Sally comments on my post and says, this is beautiful. And I'm like, who's Sally? And I click on it and I'm like, oh, Sally's work is beautiful. And I follow Sally. And that's just a way of getting people to kind of follow you back in a way as well. So don't post bad quality images. Think of Instagram as a professional platform like a website. If you want to use Instagram, in a way that you are getting people to see your work and getting people directed to your website or directed to your work, if you kind of are using it as like a business in a business way, definitely post good quality images. Post well lit and bright images. People scroll through hundreds of images a day on Instagram, especially now when everybody's stuck at home. So if your photos are dark, blurry, or cluttered, many users might just keep scrolling by and not pay much attention, right? So if you're scrolling through Instagram and you say really bright, colorful photo, you might say, well, it's beautiful and like it. If you're scrolling through and it's kind of dim and blurry and hard to see, you know, you might kind of keep scrolling and not really think much about it. Not that they don't like your work, it's just the photo immediately is not intriguing to the human eye, right? So here's a couple examples of 2 different types of profiles. So I just want to say there's nothing wrong with either one of these profiles. I'm really drawn to this profile on the right here. So this is Stuart Gare. He was one of my first professors in my undergrad. He's a grad student, and he taught one of my first ceramics classes. So it's super cool to see where his work is at now. It's really beautiful work. This is another potter over here who makes really beautiful work. I don't personally know them. I'm definitely not saying anything negative about either one. I just think that this profile over here on the right is a little bit more appealing for me. The bright images are brighter, sharper. The backgrounds are really simple, and he tends to use a small, either a single piece or a couple photos per shot, right? So there's 3, 1, 2. It's pretty simple for the most part. Again, nothing wrong with this person's work, but seeing a post like this is kind of, I'm not exactly sure what I should focus on. Again, I see some really nice pottery here, but for me, it's easier to see photos like this where I can see up and close. And here I can see the whole entire piece in the shot, where here it might be a little more difficult because half the piece is kind of cut off. So think a little bit about when you post and kind of what you want to get out of Instagram. If you want it to be more of a professional looking, kind of more like a website, something with wider backgrounds, or kind of a cleaner image might be better for you. So another example, here on the right, we have Jess Palmer. She's an artist at the Claret Center, makes really, really beautiful work. If you don't already follow her, here is her name right here, Jess Palmer Ceramics. You should definitely check her out. Again, we have kind of single images, nice clean backgrounds, kind of a unique or very similar look. This person, again, nothing wrong with their work or their profile. They have really colorful, bright images in the background, which is really a beautiful cloth in the background. In my opinion, it kind of takes away a little bit from the piece. So maybe they could have chosen to do either the piece or the background, but both, it seems to be a little bit cluttered. So when you're posting, just think about what your image looks like and think about what it would look like all together in one post. So this person clearly thought about what their images look all together. They have a nice unified theme here with all of these beautiful tapestries in the background. It just maybe it's a little bit difficult to see some of the images is all. All right, so this is my page. This is my account. So Etiquette. Again, the @ sign is what Instagram uses to direct people. So if I type in @Etiquette, it'll link my account. If you just type in Etiquette, it won't actually link the account. So recently I have been using a common theme of blue in my post. This way, when a new account visits my profile, there's an instant coherency and general theme between all of my posts. I also believe it's important to post a mix of in progress, finished work, and video content. This provides your account with a greater range of content diversity. So we talked earlier about carousel post. When you post a carousel post, which again is just multiple images, right up here you have this little icon. It doesn't go when you click on the actual post. This doesn't continue to show up, but it's just from this viewpoint only. If I'm looking at someone's profile, I'll say, oh, there's more pictures than just this one. I can click on this and slide through. Same with the video. There's a little triangle here, so I know this is a video, not just a stagnant post. So like I said, in my post recently, I'm limited. I don't have a photo booth anyways. I'm at the place I'm at right now, so I'm actually using this blue background, which, fun fact, is my parents' front door. So I've used that a lot, and I just kind of using a similar color palette of blue here, just to give my page a little bit more coherency recently, so it doesn't seem so jumbled. All right, my favorite slide is this one, I think. Instagram, a community of knowledge. All right, so if you're new to Instagram, over the past few years, ceramic artists on Instagram have formed a vast web of knowledge by sharing information on their profiles. When and if possible, you should share your processes, techniques, firing cycles, glaze, slip, and clay recipes. As all of you know well by now, ceramics is a community effort. We all help each other out. Utilize Instagram to learn and grow from others' successes and failures. In a lot of ways, Instagram has taught me just as much as formal education. Right? So obviously I learned a lot in school. Taking classes, of course, I know all of you guys who've taken classes have learned a lot through that, but I've also learned a lot by seeing people's videos on Instagram. A lot of times people do process videos, or an artist I follow will post something and they'll actually share the glaze recipe. So recently, especially with the whole COVID situation going on, a lot of artists have been sharing process videos and sharing some really great techniques and firing cycles and slip recipes and all kind of really amazing things. So if you're a ceramic artist and you really like someone's work on Instagram, it's not that uncommon for someone to message them and say, hey, what's your process or what's your glaze recipe? It's kind of a really great little web of knowledge to reach out. And personally, I've reached out to a lot of a lot of ceramic artists on Instagram who were well above me in their careers, and they've almost always reached back out and said, yeah, I'd love to share this with you. And sometimes, people can't always share their glaze or clay or firing techniques, which I understand, but a lot of times people do share. And so it's really great advocate for Instagram in that way, that if you're a ceramic artist especially, it's a lot of good information. All right, real quick, we're going to fly by this part because I don't think this part's a little crazy, right? Setting up a professional Instagram. So real quick, just to talk right off the top, running a professional Instagram account is a whole separate webinar talk. I'm going to show you guys just a little bit of a preview, but if this is something that interests you in any way, you can let us know, let a Claret Center know, or let me know, and we can set up another talk going through this in depth. So to have a professional account, you actually have to have your Instagram connected to a Facebook business page, and in order to set up a professional account. So it's free for Instagram, which is awesome, and it provides a lot of insights and followers, and you can reach so much more. So I have a professional account on Instagram. I'm going to show you guys a couple of screenshots of what it looks like. Again, you might have questions about this. Remember, this is a whole separate thing. When you just get an Instagram, you just have a normal account, which is great, super helpful. You don't have to have a professional account. A lot of businesses have this account. The Claret Center has this account. If you want to have your images be shoppable for people to buy them right off the bat, you actually have to have a business account connected to a Facebook account, and you also have to have a shoppable Facebook page that everything is connected to. So it gets a little bit complicated. Again, I'm not going to go over that during this talk, but just want you guys to see how to set it up. If you have been using Instagram for a while and you're ready for this next step, that's amazing. It's great. So this is how you actually do set one up. If you're at this point. Pretty simple. Once you have a Facebook business page, you just click right here, these 3 lines, settings, and down here, you can set up an account. It's just that easy. Like I said, once you get the Facebook page as well. And here's a little bit what it looks like. So again, please don't get overwhelmed. If you're new to Instagram, or if you're just going to start an Instagram, or if you're really just wanting to learn if you want an Instagram, again, this is a professional account, so it's much more intense than a normal account. So so if you do get a business account, you can see all these crazy insights. So for example, I can see this post, I can see how many likes it had, how many comments it had, I can see how many people shared it, how many people saved it. We didn't talk about this save button, so I do want to mention, whenever you make a post, there's this little bookmark icon here. You can click that, and that'll save this image in your own little profile. So you can go back to your profile and look through your saved images. But you can see profile visits, how many accounts you've reached, how many people have visited your profile because of this picture. I'm able to see how many accounts, or I'm able to see the reach of number of times people saw this post on a given day. Again, there's a whole bunch of crazy analytics here. I can see people who followed me, people who unfollowed me. I can see where my followers are from. So like 28% of people who follow me are from Lincoln, Nebraska. I can see what countries they're from. I can see the age range. I can see the genders. I could see on a Friday at this time, 1.1 thousand people average are on Instagram and active at that time. So all these things, like I said, are pretty intense, but they're really great if you do want to have a more professional business account. You're able to actually really dig in deep, and I can see, okay, well, on a Friday, I should post at this time, not this time, because just in that short difference, there's hundreds of people more. So why not just post at this time than this time? And I know it's a lot of information. We'll open up for questions here in a second, but I just want to say thank you guys all for tuning along. If you have any future questions outside of this, or if you're interested in signing up for my email list, I do have occasional sales and other information sending out. So right here is my email. Here's my Instagram. If you guys want to follow along my Instagram, if you're interested in, and this is some recent work, but if you're interested in any of my work, that's my Instagram. This is the Claret Center's Instagram, so regardless, you should definitely check this out. If you're here, you probably already follow this, but it's a really great place. It's a really great place to see all of, we're doing a lot of online classes and webinars, and so right here, the Claret Center, you can see all that information coming at us live. So thank you guys so much. I think we'll take it over for questions now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Austin. That was great. I do, before we get into Q&As, I do want to mention our very own Max Seinfeld here did mention he has a little comment here about kind of the aesthetics of Instagram, a little less of the logistics and the technical stuff, and more about, maybe you can speak briefly, Austin, about composition and editing and curating content.
Absolutely.
That's coming from Max. I wonder if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just go back to this slide real quick. Yeah, so just real quick, as far as composition, as far as editing, I really tried to focus in my images in the center. I try to focus all my pictures right in the center of the screen, so it's not cut off. When I'm looking at my main profile, no images are cut off, and things are centered. So you can see there's a line going right here through the middle of a lot of these backgrounds. You can actually adjust your images if they're a little off. So I make sure I adjust them so they're all kind of flat and squared up. As far as editing and composition goes, most times when I take a photo, I go into the main setting. So when you take a photo and post on Instagram, there's an option to edit the photo. So almost every time I go and edit the photo, and I actually up the contrast a little bit. I up the exposure a lot. So exposure is what kind of brightens the image. So these photos up here, when I first took them, they weren't this bright. So I'm not going back and changing the colors or anything, but I'm just adding a little bit of brightness, so it's not so much heavy shadows covering it. So I up the brightness a little bit, and oftentimes, I'll change the hue a little bit too. So sometimes when I take a photo, it might be really sunny out, and so the photo might be kind of tinted red. So maybe the whole photo will be kind of tinted really red, really blue if it's cloudy out. So I'll kind of just go back and adjust the settings a little bit. But as far as curating content that goes on, that's a really, really great question, Max. And again, if you guys don't know Max, check out his work, beautiful work. It's on the Claret Center website as well. I think there's some images for sale, really beautiful. But as far as content goes, I really try to do a good mix of photographs, of videos, of in progress. So I think it's great to see kind of the progress. So you can see like this is a greenware photo. It's not fired yet. This is bisque. This just got glazed. I just made this the other day. So I kind of like to get, like, this is not fired, but it has slip on it. And I like to get a little bit of contrast in the types of photos I post. And then as far as the actual imagery, I'm really looking for visually appealing things. I have a lot more, like I have a lot of pieces I made recently, but I thought like only the ones I posted recently are kind of the ones that really stood out to me visually as attractive photos. And just recently, I've started using kind of this blue background scheme. If you scroll much past these couple photos, it starts getting really brown and gray, and I have a lot of kind of brown shots. I thought this blue just popped out a little bit more to my eye. I could talk a lot more about that question. I'm not sure exactly if I answered that question, but as far as just touching up on that, I think try to focus it on one or a couple pieces and different stages. People really like seeing different stages. People really like seeing processes too.
Thanks so much, Austin. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another webinar, and keep an eye on clayartcenter.org for what's coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and see you next time.